Step back into the 1800s, an era of grit, struggle, and simple joys, captured in rare photographs that bring history to life. From pioneer families and playful children to the harsh realities of slavery and child labor, these images open a window into the everyday lives that shaped world. Welcome to Vintage Lens. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore the past with us. Pioneer Family. Year 1886. This photograph captures a pioneer family standing in front of a horse-drawn buggy. It offers a glimpse into the daily lives of settlers during the westward expansion in the United States. Crinoline used to support Victorian-era dresses, year 1860. This image showcases a crinoline, a garment worn to support Victorian-era dresses, highlighting the fashion trends of the 19th century. Gold miners in Auburn Ravine, California, year 1852. This photograph depicts Caucasian and Chinese gold miners standing around equipment in Auburn Ravine, California, during the California Gold Rush. Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show ticket booth, year 1890. This image captures a ticket booth for Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show, a popular entertainment troupe during the 1800s that staged performances across the US and Europe. Children with a Turkey Cart, year 1840. This early daguerreotype captures a young boy and girl with a cart full of pumpkins and gourds, humorously pulled by a couple of turkeys. Such fanciful portraits were popular in the 19th century. Steamboat on the Cincinnati waterfront, year 1848. This photograph depicts a bustling scene on the Cincinnati waterfront, showcasing the prominence of steamboats in transporting goods and people during the mid-19th century. A slave market in Atlanta, year 1850. Captured by photographer George Norman Barnard, this image shows a store on Atlanta's Whitehall Street that doubled as a slave market, offering a stark glimpse into the pre-Civil War South. Railroad construction crew, year 1860s. This photograph showcases a diverse group of workers, including African Americans and Irish immigrants, constructing a railroad line, highlighting the labor force behind America's expansion. Civil War soldier, year 1861. A portrait of a Union soldier from the early days of the Civil War, reflecting the youthful and determined faces that filled the ranks during the conflict's onset. Victorian family portrait, year 1870s. This formal portrait captures a Victorian family, showcasing the fashion and social norms of the era, with men in suits and women in elaborate dresses. Street scene in San Francisco, year 1878. A bustling street scene in San Francisco, illustrating the city's growth and the diversity of its inhabitants during the late 19th century. Buffalo herd on the plain, year 1880s. This image captures a vast herd of buffalo roaming the plains, symbolizing the abundant wildlife that once thrived across the American West. Chicago World's Fair, year 1893. A panoramic view of the Chicago World's Fair, showcasing the architectural marvels and technological innovations displayed during the event. Early automobiles in New York City, year 1899. This photograph depicts early automobiles navigating the streets of New York City, marking the beginning of the automotive era in urban America. Child making baskets in a factory, year 1849. This photograph depicts a young boy working in a factory, highlighting the prevalent practice of child labor during the Industrial Revolution. Children were often employed due to their small size and the ability to pay them lower wages. Soldiers with the 107th United States Colored Troops, year 1861. This photograph features soldiers from the 107th United States Colored Troops, one of the first African American regiments to serve in the Union Army during the Civil War. Their involvement marked a significant step toward the abolition of slavery and the fight for civil rights. Train carrying Lincoln's body. Year 1865. This image depicts the funeral train transporting President Abraham Lincoln's body from Washington, D.C. to Springfield, Illinois, following his assassination. The journey allowed millions of Americans to pay their respects. Statue of Liberty construction, year 1872. This image captures workers constructing the Statue of Liberty, a gift from France symbolizing freedom and democracy. The statue was completed in 1884 and became an iconic landmark in New York Harbor. Electric train test at Menlo Park, year 1880. This photograph shows an electric train being tested at Thomas Edison's Menlo Park laboratory. Edison was a pioneer in electrical engineering, and this test represented early advancements in electric transportation. Jesse James's funeral. Year 1882. This image depicts the funeral of Jesse James, the infamous outlaw of the American West. His death marked the end of an era of notorious bank and train robberies in the region. The crew of the USS Monitor, year 1862. This image captures the crew of the USS Monitor, the Union Navy's first ironclad warship during the Civil War. Pawnee Indian family, year 1865. Photographed by William Henry Jackson, this image shows a Pawnee Indian family outside their earthen lodge in Nebraska. A Monday washing, New York, year 1890s to 1900. Lines of laundry hang between tightly spaced tenement buildings while women and children work below. A clear look at the weekly ritual of wash day in crowded urban neighborhoods. The image captures the communal, labor-heavy routine that structured domestic life for many city families. The Colorado Valley, Texas, year 1872. This photograph, taken by E.O. Beeman, shows a scenic view of the Colorado Valley in Texas during an exploratory mission. Cottages on the Hudson River, year 1859. This photograph captures picturesque cottages along the Hudson River near West Point, New York, showcasing the serene landscapes that attracted many to the area during the 19th century. America's first oil field, Titusville, Pennsylvania, year 1859. An early photograph of the first oil well drilled in the United States by Colonel Edwin Drake in Titusville, Pennsylvania, marking the beginning of the American oil industry. Children with hoops. Year, late 1800s. A small group of children posed with wooden hoops and sticks, a typical street or game scene of Victorian childhood. The image highlights simple outdoor play and the informal games that occupied kids before mass-market toys and organized sports. The U.S. Capitol Dome under construction, year 1861. Captured on March 4, 1861, this photograph shows the construction of the U.S. Capitol Dome during Abraham Lincoln's first inauguration, symbolizing the nation's growth and resilience. Women in front of their house, Barton, Vermont, year 1860s. This photograph shows women standing in front of their house in Barton, Vermont during the 1860s. It offers a glimpse into rural life and the attire of women during that period. Cambria Iron Company, blacksmith shop, year 1870s. Heavy anvils, hammers, and workbenches fill this working blacksmith shop, a portrait of small-scale industrial craft that supported farming, railroads, and daily life. The photo shows how metal workers formed, repaired, and produced essential tools for communities. Dry goods store in Princeton, Illinois, year 1860s. This image depicts a dry goods store in Princeton, Illinois, showcasing the types of goods and storefronts common in small American towns during the 19th century. Man and horse at barn in Springfield, Massachusetts, year 1860s. This photograph shows a man with his horse at a barn in Springfield, Massachusetts during the 1860s. It reflects the agricultural lifestyle prevalent in many parts of America during that time. Downtown after a rainstorm, Hartford, Connecticut, year 1860s. This image captures downtown Hartford, Connecticut shortly after a rainstorm in the 1860s. It provides a snapshot of urban life and architecture during the 19th century. A Washington, D.C. hospital ward, year 1862. This photo shows a ward at Campbell General Hospital in Washington, D.C. during the Civil War. It reflects not only medical care of the time but also the living conditions and facilities available to soldiers who were wounded or ill. Former slaves in Virginia. Year 1862. A group of men, women, and children who had escaped or were behind Union lines during the Civil War. It illustrates the status of escaped enslaved people, often called contrabands, seeking freedom and refuge during the conflict. The William H. Webb Shipyard in New York City, year 1863, shows the construction of a ship, Re Don Luigi di Portogallo, at a major shipyard. This underscores the industrial and maritime capabilities of mid-19th century America and the role of shipbuilding in trade and transport. The U.S. Sanitary Commission in City Point, Virginia. Year 1864, volunteers and workers at a commission facility. The U.S. Sanitary Commission provided medical relief, supplies, and support to Union troops. This photo shows how civilians and organized relief efforts contributed during wartime. Italian immigrants, Jersey Street, New York City, year 1897. Portrait of a family of Italian immigrants living in tenement or shack conditions in Jersey Street, Soho area now. Reflects immigrant life, poverty, overcrowding, and adaptation in big cities at the turn of the century. Children on the Lawn in Central Park, New York City, year 1880. A group of children, with some adults, gathered on a lawn in Central Park. Reflects recreation, public spaces becoming part of city life, and how families used such spaces. Puerto Rico, market scene at Ponce, street vendors, year, late 1800s. Crowded market stalls and umbrella-shaded vendors show everyday commerce, fruit, produce, and small trade happening in public plazas. The image illustrates how markets functioned as social hubs, not just places to buy food. Congress Hall and New Theater, Chestnut Street, Philadelphia, year 19th century. A busy commercial street scene with vendors and pedestrians gathered outside prominent buildings. This photograph shows urban flow, street commerce, and how public life coalesced around theaters and meeting places. North Star Schoolhouse, year mid-1800s. The classic one-room schoolhouse sits in its rural setting, a visual of 19th century education, small classes, single teacher systems, and the modest architecture that housed community schooling. The photo evokes daily lessons and seasonal routines of rural children,